Hey guys, how are you today? I hope you're having a wonderful day like always. Today, I am continuing with my Grace Jones discography journey, and we've made it to her sixth studio album from 1982 called Living My Life. Now, it does say here that out of all of Grace Jones's albums, Living My Life is the rarest, and the physical CD copies are highly sought after. Now, I am looking at the track list for Living My Life, and there are 7 tracks, and I don't recall hearing any of these songs before. But like always, if I start listening to a song and it sounds familiar, I'll let you guys know. But anyway, enough talking, let's get into it with track number 1, My Jamaican Guy.
Standing by the door, just stretching out on the floor. That way don't fall over. Lay back, never holding back. I said, my Jamaican guy. Oh, my Jamaican guy. Oh, my Jamaican guy. My Jamaican guy.
Alrighty, that was track number 1, My Jamaican Guy. Yes, I adore the production on this track. It was obviously more reggae sounding, and I loved the instruments, and I really liked the melody of the chorus as well. My Jamaican Guy. I liked it. Now, My Jamaican Guy was released as the 3rd single from the album, and Grace actually wrote the song herself, revealing in a 2010 interview that it was written about Tyrone Dowdy of Bob Marley's The Wailers. He doesn't even know I wrote it about him. I would definitely listen to this song again. I mean, it's getting me geared up for summer and spring, the warmer weather, so I'm definitely going to be going back to this song quite a bit during the warmer summer months. But anyway, let's move on to track number 2, Nipple to the Bottle. Okay, that was track number 2, Nipple to the Bottle. Another great track that I really enjoyed, and I'm having a lot of fun with the production on this album. It's definitely a different feel and atmosphere than her prior album, Nightclubbing, which was, in my opinion, more dark and foreboding. This is more light and tropical and warm. You're still a baby, don't give me a line. Keep the lid on the bottle this time. I'm still a lady. I won't do it tonight. I won't give in, and I won't feel guilty. Rant and rave to manipulate me from the nipple to the bottle, never satisfied. Now, I do believe she's comparing this person to a baby. From the nipple to the bottle, never satisfied. I'm still a lady, I won't do it tonight. You're still a baby, don't give me a line. Keep the lid on the bottle this time. You scream and you shout, you're still a baby, rant and rave to manipulate me. So this person is very childish, and they overreact, and they just rant and rave. and they scream and they shout, and they're just a baby. They're just a toddler. So now we're gonna move on to track number 3, the apple stretching. Ooh.
truck into the fence. Just the apple stretching in New York, putting its feet on the floor. Bad lady is cursing the waiter for giving her a free coffee. Fires one and yells, freeze! Oh, ain't the world coming to an end? Just the apple stretching in your putting its teeth on the floor. Let's get to your slasher over there. Shit!
Okay, now it's track number 3, The Apple Stretching, and this was a very interesting song lyrically. Lyrically, it is probably my favorite track on the album so far. I just really enjoyed the story that she was telling. It's about New York, a day in the life of just being in New York. All these people just going about their day, and the chaos that is New York, and the traffic, and just people walking around, how busy it is. No, it ain't Judgment Day. No, it ain't Armageddon. It's just the apple stretching and yawning. Just morning. So, New York is waking up. It's bright and early, the Big Apple, and everybody is just going about their day. There's Luigi, uptown Luigi, who don't speak English so good, is having an accident, backing his dump truck into the fence. And then she goes on to say a bag lady's cursing the waiter for giving her a free coffee. Lucky he's a Jesus freak moonlighting at the Acme discount store over in Queens. The burglar alarm starts to scream. A cop picks out his gun, fires one, and yells, freeze. Now it does say here that the song was originally written by Melvin Van Peebles for his 1982 play Waltz of the Stork. The song does describe New York City in the early morning. I will say though, we are 3 tracks into the album, and even though I'm really enjoyed the production on this album, I'm enjoyed the reggae, and it's tropical, it's very warm and light. I'm not enjoying this album as much as her Warm Leatherette and Nightclubbing album. We still have 4 more tracks to listen to, but so far, I am enjoying this album, and don't get me wrong, I really am. I'm just not enjoying it as much as her prior 2 albums, Nightclubbing and Warm Leatherette. But these are still tracks I would go back to and listen to again. But anyway, let's move on to track number 4, Everybody Hold Still.
Everybody hold still. And you I should have left the apartment. When you I should have stayed in watching TV. I ran back for the phone, but instead I let it ring. I'll be in this mess I'm in right now. Everybody hold still. Nobody gets hurt. I ran back for the phone, but instead I let it ring. I'll be in this mess I'm in right now. Nobody gets hurt. Everybody hold still.
Okay, that was track number 4, Everybody Hold Still, and this was another great song that I enjoyed listening to. I do feel like out of the first 4 songs I've listened to, this one definitely has the catchiest chorus. In the song, I do believe she's singing about getting robbed. At the end of the song, she says, please don't take all my money, mister. Don't take my money. So essentially, when she says everybody hold still, nobody gets hurt, I imagine someone is being held at gunpoint or knife point, and the robber is saying everybody hold still, nobody gets hurt. So nobody gets hurt if you just stand still and let me rob you, I guess. And she's also saying how she should have left all her cash back at the apartment, and she should have told herself, don't wear no jewelry, you're looking fine. She should have ran back to her room when the phone was ringing, but instead she let it ring. And if she had gone back to her apartment for the phone when it was ringing, she wouldn't be in the mess that she's in right now. I knew I shouldn't have left my apartment. I knew I should have stayed and watching TV, but she didn't. And now she's in a very sticky situation. When I was listening to the song, I was just picturing a story in my head of Grace Jones living in New York City. And one night, she decided to leave her apartment decked out in jewelry, and unfortunately, I don't know, maybe she was walking down a dark alley and all of a sudden she was getting mugged. Now, I've never been mugged before. I was very close to getting something stolen from me. I was just taking a walk one day. This was, I don't know, 10 years ago. And it was during the summer months, and it was very bright out. It was literally the afternoon. It was in broad daylight, and I was walking somewhere, and I was listening to my iPod, and I just had my iPod out. And these group of kids, maybe, it wasn't a group, it was maybe just 2 kids or 3 kids. They were younger than me. At the time, I was maybe 20 years old. And they were younger than me, maybe, I don't know, 15 or 14. And I was walking one way, and they were walking past me in the other direction. And then I kept walking, and then all of a sudden, I heard running behind me, and the kids ran back and grabbed me, and they kind of put my arm, I guess, behind my neck or whatever, and they were holding my hand up, the hand that I was holding the iPod in, and they were like, give me your iPod. And I wouldn't let it go. I wouldn't let it go. I wouldn't give it to them. And at the time, I mean, hindsight's always 2020. They might have had a knife or whatever. I don't know, but I wouldn't give it to them. And when I wouldn't give it to them, they just let me go. And I just continued on with my walk. Actually, I didn't continue with my walk. I turned around and I ran back home. And no one cared. There were literally cars driving by and no one stopped to help me. But to be fair, there were really big trees along the side of the road, so it was really hard to see the sidewalk and people walking on the sidewalk if you were just driving down the road. So maybe no one saw me, but it was a little scary. But anyway, let's move on to track number 5, Cry Now, Laugh Later. Okay, that was track 5, Cry Now, Laugh Later, and this was another great song. This is a very consistent album. I've enjoyed all the tracks so far. It's a very solid Grace Jones album, and you know what? I know I said initially that I wasn't enjoying this album as much as her last 2 albums, Nightclubbing and Warm Leatherette, which is still the case. But this album is growing on me the further I get into it, and this is a great Grace Jones album. I do like the story she's telling on this song. It sounds like she was kidnapped or something. I thought they wanted money. 2 thieves, as they were passing by, they tied me up so lonely and took the car out from under my eyes. Her dad's 10 grand on a 4-wheel drive. So it looks like these thieves tied her up and took her dad's car, the car she was driving. Cry now, laugh later. I don't know why I'm laughing. Immigration breathing down my back. Ain't got no money for a payoff. Stay in jail until they send me back. I really am enjoying the lyrics on this album. I think they're a lot of fun. I mean, if one can say that getting robbed On track number 4, Everybody Hold Still, and then being kidnapped and held for ransom and getting your car stolen is fun, which obviously those aren't fun things, but I don't know. I find the lyrics on this album to be a lot of fun to listen to, even though they're not fun if they actually happen to you in real life. So let's move on to track number 6, Inspiration.
Hoping to find new source of information. Love me to you. Talking now, I'm healing myself, get back on leaving. I've been searching for some inspiration. I've been searching for some inspiration.
Okay, that was track number 6, Inspiration, and I definitely didn't enjoy this song as much as all the other tracks on the album so far. This is probably, not probably, it is my least favorite track on the album. It didn't really grab me, unfortunately. I think part of it has to do with me not really knowing what she's singing about. I'm hoping to find a new source of information. I'll step off the line. I've been searching for some inspiration. The thing I wrote off as false came true. Hope he's turning in his grave. My source of satisfaction from laying it on the line. You could be the one too. I've been searching for some inspiration. The thing I wrote off as false came true. So, like she stated in the song, she's searching for some inspiration. The thing she wrote off as false came true. And she's singing about this person turning in his grave. So, perhaps she's singing about someone she knew and they're dead now. And, I honestly have no idea. Just like the rest of the album, I did enjoy the production on this track. I just didn't really care for the melody and the lyrics and what she was actually singing about. But anyway, we have come to the end of the album, track number 7, Unlimited Capacity for Love. Okay, that was the final track of the album, track number 7, Unlimited Capacity for Love. And I enjoyed this song a lot more than track number 6, Inspiration. I don't know, maybe I'm the only one who wasn't the biggest fan of Inspiration, but other than track number 6, Inspiration, this was a very solid album from Grace Jones, Living My Life. In the song, she is saying how the end's not in sight, it's gone way too far. This could turn out another unwinning war. It wasn't inherited, certainly not a joke. So many human hearts hanging in hope. Unlimited capacity for love. How young I am now, stop counting the weeks. We're safe from the void where they're still counting sheep. So I don't really know what she's singing about on this track. It's very metaphorical. She could be singing about a relationship. She could be singing about just the world in general, and what's happening. So many human hearts hanging in hope, unlimited capacity for love. She could be singing about the turmoils that we're facing in the world at the time in the early 1980s. The conflicts and the wars and the drama, or she could just be singing about a personal relationship she was in or is in. Um, uh, I really don't know. But she is saying how the end's not in sight. It's gone way too far. So whatever she is singing about, the end's not in sight. So we still have a long way to go. This could turn out another unwinning war. So many hearts, so many human hearts hanging in hope, unlimited capacity for love. So many people in the world are hanging on to hope, and all these people have unlimited capacity for love. And yet, there's all this chaos happening, and the end is not in sight. So I don't know. That's my interpretation of the song. I mean, this song is open to interpretation. She could be singing about many different things, but I really don't know, to be honest with you. So if you know, just leave a comment. So that was all 7 tracks of "Living My Life" by Grace Jones, and I did really enjoy this album. I do feel like now, this is my own personal opinion, but I do feel like this is her weakest album out of Warm Leatherette, Nightclubbing, and now Living My Life. But just because it's her weakest out of the 3 doesn't mean it's bad. It's a great Grace Jones album. It's just not as good as her prior 2 albums. I would definitely listen to this album again. I also really enjoyed the production on the album. I was not disappointed with the production. It was more tropical and reggae. It was very light and summery in parts, and I really liked it. I also really enjoyed the lyrics on this album. They were a lot of fun to read. In particular, the apple stretching and cry now, laugh later. And just like her prior 2 albums, Warm Leatherette and Nightclubbing, the album cover for Living My Life is just as iconic. So I think that's all I wanted to say on the album. What did you guys think of it? Maybe you love this album and it's your favorite Grace Jones album. Tell me why. So in my next Grace Jones video, we'll be moving on to her 1985 album, Slave to the Rhythm. Now, I was quite excited to listen to Living My Life, but you know what? I'm even more excited to listen to Slave to the Rhythm. And one of the reasons being is that apparently, Slave to the Rhythm, the song, is her biggest hit. So look out for that video in the near future, and you can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Twitter, you can message me, you can say, hey, how are you? So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care.